everybody, we are back today with our 18 gauge twisted brass wire. I was thinking of showing you guys how I would solder this into a ring, just as another little demo. The first thing that I need to do is mark 2 Sharpie lines on either side of the wire where I'm going to be cutting through. This will be measured out according to the ring size that I need. The next step is to wrap my wire around my mandrel so that the 2 Sharpie lines line up next to each other. This will ensure that my 2 ends will line up perfectly and the pattern will be seamless. And that's pretty lined up. Making sure my lines still stay aligned. I can then start to cut through my wire, all 4 pieces at once. And now we have nice clean ends. Might need a little bit of filing done before I line them up and solder. And just gently remove that burr that was still there on both sides. That looks pretty good. Now to start soldering, I'll add a bit of flux to the seam. This will protect my solder while I heat it up. I add 2 pieces of silver solder because I have 2 pieces of wire that need to be joined. I just gently warm up my piece so that the flux dries out slowly. If I dry it out too quickly, the solder will boil and bubble and move around and it won't be where I want it to be. Checking everything looks good before I keep heating it up to solder temperature. Making sure I heat everything evenly and then it flows. Out of the pickle, cleaned up and ready to be sanded and then formed and then polished into a beautiful little brass ring. First I'm going to take a file to the joint and just smooth out . That looks pretty good. Now I'll smooth with some sandpaper. Now I may go ahead and make it round and flat before I continue to polish. Here you can see how it's not flat, so I will lay it on the steel block and give it a couple taps with my hammer. Flip it over and do the same thing on this side. Pretty good. Next I'll use my flex shaft to give it a little sanding with some bristle wheels. I'll start off pretty coarse and switch wheels finer and finer until I am all done and ready to buff. Finally, at the buffing wheel, we polish with some polishing compound and a cotton wheel. Alright, so here is our polished ring